Did you know? Many exercises that seem harmless are actually wreaking havoc on your knees, causing pain, inflammation, and even long-term damage. If you're over 60 and still doing certain high-impact workouts, you might be unknowingly fast-tracking yourself to knee replacement surgery. Yes, it's that serious. Your knees are not the same as they were decades ago. Cartilage wears down, joints stiffen, and recovery takes longer. But here's the scary part. Some common exercises that seniors still do are actually accelerating knee deterioration. If you want to protect your mobility and stay independent for years to come, you need to stop these 6 exercises immediately before they permanently ruin your knees. 1. Deep squats. A fast track to knee surgery. Deep squats might seem like a great way to build leg strength. But for seniors, they are one of the most destructive movements for aging knees. When you lower yourself into a deep squat, your knees bend beyond their natural comfort zone, forcing the cartilage and ligaments to stretch under extreme pressure. At a younger age, your body could handle this strain. Your cartilage was thick, resilient, and capable of absorbing shock. But as you age, that cushion between your bones becomes thinner and weaker. Each deep squat grinds away what little protection you have left, bringing your knees closer to painful bone-on-bone contact. Many seniors don't realize the danger until it's too late. At first, the discomfort feels mild, perhaps a slight ache after exercising or stiffness when getting up from a chair. But over time, this damage accumulates. The cartilage, already worn down from decades of use, begins to crack and erode. The soft tissues surrounding the joint become inflamed, causing sharp pain with every step. And then one day, something shifts. A sudden pop, a sharp jolt of pain, and you find yourself unable to stand without agony. What seemed like a simple exercise has now turned into a serious medical issue, one that may require surgery or even a knee replacement. The worst part? Knee injuries from deep squats don't heal the way they once did. Your body's ability to repair cartilage diminishes with age. Once that cushioning is gone, it doesn't grow back. Instead, you're left with chronic inflammation, stiffness, and an increased risk of arthritis. Some seniors continue pushing through the pain, believing it's just a normal part of aging. But pain is never normal. It's your body's way of warning you that something is wrong, that something is breaking down. Ignore it, and you may soon find yourself facing the reality of reduced mobility, endless doctor visits, and a long recovery process that may never fully restore your independence. Knee damage doesn't happen overnight, and that's what makes it so dangerous. The destruction is gradual, almost unnoticeable at first. But every time you force your knees into deep flexion, you accelerate the process. And once the damage is done, there is no turning back. The question is, how much longer can your knees take it before they give out completely? If you think deep squats are bad, wait until you hear about the next exercise that's been silently destroying seniors' knees for years. Keep listening because this one might surprise you. 2. Running on hard surfaces. The silent killer of joints. Running has long been praised as one of the best exercises for staying fit. But for seniors, it can be one of the most damaging things you do to your knees, especially if you're pounding knee or running on other hard surfaces. Every single step you take sends a powerful shockwave up your legs, striking your knees with force that can be up to 5 times your body weight. When you were younger, your joints could absorb this impact more efficiently. Your cartilage was thicker, more elastic, and capable of bouncing back. But with age, that resilience fades. The cartilage that once cushioned your knees is thinned, and instead of absorbing the impact, your joints now take the full brunt of every step. At first, the signs are subtle. A little stiffness in the morning, a dull ache after a long walk, a slight discomfort when going up or down the stairs. These are warnings, your body's way of telling you that your knees are under too much stress. But many seniors ignore these signals, pushing through the pain, believing it's simply a part of growing older. The truth is, it's not just aging, it's damage. Running on unforgiving surfaces accelerates joint deterioration, stripping away the last layers of cartilage protecting your bones. And once that cartilage is gone, it's gone for good. What follows is a painful reality: chronic inflammation, swelling, and the agonizing grind of bone rubbing against bone with every movement. Some runners don't realize the extent of the harm until one day their knee simply gives out. A sudden sharp pain, a loud pop, and the inability to put weight on the leg. This is how meniscus tears, ligament damage, and severe osteoarthritis begin. Recovery isn't as simple as rest and ice anymore. Instead, it leads to months of physical therapy, injections, and in many cases surgery. Even then, the knee may never feel the same again. The mobility you once took for granted is now a daily struggle, turning simple tasks like getting out of a chair or climbing a small set of stairs into painful challenges. And the worst part? Many seniors who experience knee breakdown from running find themselves completely sidelined from the activities they once loved. The freedom to take long walks, to play with their grandchildren, to remain independent, all slowly taken away by the very exercise they thought was keeping them healthy. But running isn't the only hidden danger. There's another exercise that many seniors believe is helping their strength, but instead, it's pushing their knees to the breaking point. Listen carefully because the next one could be even worse. 3. High-impact jumping exercises. The silent destroyer of knees. Jumping exercises might seem like a great way to maintain agility and strength, but for seniors, they're a silent destroyer of knee health. The very motion of jumping, launching off the ground and landing with force, sends an extreme amount of pressure through the knee joint. In your younger years, your body could handle this stress. Your tendons, ligaments, and cartilage were strong and flexible, capable of absorbing the shock. But as you age, your joints lose that elasticity. The cushioning in your knees becomes thinner, your ligaments become less resilient, and your ability to recover from impact slows down dramatically. Each jump delivers a devastating blow to a joint that is already weakened by time. At first, it might not seem like a big deal. Maybe you feel a slight discomfort after a workout, a twinge of pain when you land a little too hard. You tell yourself it's normal, that it will pass. But that pain is more than just discomfort. It's a warning sign. Every time your feet hit the ground, the impact creates micro tears in the cartilage, tiny injuries that, over time, build up into something far more serious. These small tears don't heal the way they used to. Instead, they accumulate, wearing down the protective layer that keeps your bones from grinding against each other. The result? Chronic inflammation, stiffness, and pain that doesn't go away. And then one wrong landing is all it takes. A moment of imbalance, a slightly off-center step, and suddenly something shifts. A sharp, searing pain shoots through your knee, and you realize you can't stand without assistance. This is how ligament tears happen. This is how seniors find themselves with a torn meniscus, an ACL injury, or even a complete knee blowout. The recovery is long, difficult, and often incomplete. Months of physical therapy may help, but the knee is never quite the same again. Many seniors who suffer these injuries find themselves facing the one thing they feared most, a loss of mobility and independence. The worst part is that these injuries don't just affect your workouts. They affect your everyday life. Walking becomes painful. Stairs feel impossible. Even getting out of a chair can be a struggle. And what was once a simple movement, something you never thought twice about, now feels like an insurmountable challenge. But the dangers don't stop here. There's another exercise that, while seemingly safe, is actually placing an enormous amount of strain on your knees, an exercise that could be quietly wearing down your joints with every repetition. Keep listening, because what you're about to hear next may surprise you. 4. Leg press with heavy weights. The silent cartilage killer. The leg press machine may look like a safe and controlled way to strengthen your legs, but for seniors, it can be one of the most deceptive and dangerous exercises for knee health. The very design of the machine encourages a false sense of security. You're seated, your back is supported, and all you have to do is push. But what most people don't realize is that the leg press places an enormous amount of strain on the knee joints, far beyond what they were designed to handle as they age. When you load heavy weights onto the machine and press them upward, your knees are forced into an unnatural position, absorbing the full impact of the resistance. Over time, this repetitive stress does irreversible damage, grinding away at the cartilage that protects your joints. At first, it doesn't feel like much. Maybe there's a little stiffness afterward, a slight ache that lingers for a few hours. But those small warning signs are just the beginning. As you continue to push heavier weights, the pressure on your knee joints compacts the cartilage, squeezing out the essential fluids that keep it lubricated and flexible. Without this cushioning, your bones start to press against each other with every repetition, leading to chronic inflammation, swelling, and sharp pain that doesn't go away. Many seniors dismiss the discomfort as simple muscle soreness, but the truth is far more alarming. You are wearing down your knee joint with every press, accelerating the onset of arthritis and joint deterioration. Then comes the moment that changes everything. A sudden, sharp pain mid-rep, a feeling like something has torn deep inside the knee. You try to lower the weights, but your leg refuses to cooperate. You've just suffered a serious injury, perhaps a meniscus tear, a ruptured ligament, or even a patellar fracture. Recovery is slow, often painful, and never quite the same. Even if you manage to heal, the damage has been done, and your knee will never regain its full strength or stability. The worst part? These injuries don't just take away your ability to exercise. They rob you of your independence. Climbing stairs becomes a struggle. Getting in and out of the car is an ordeal. Walking short distances feels like a marathon. What was once an effortless movement is now a painful reminder of a decision that should have been avoided. And yet, there is still one more exercise that seniors believe is helping them stay strong, when in reality, it is wreaking havoc on their knees with every single repetition. If you thought heavy leg presses were dangerous, just wait until you hear about this next one. It's an exercise most people never question, yet it could be leading you straight to surgery. Keep listening, because what comes next is something you cannot afford to ignore. 5. Lunges. The knee ligament destroyer lunges are often recommended as a great way to build strength and balance, but for seniors, they can be one of the most dangerous exercises for aging knees. At first glance, lunges seem simple. Just step forward, lower your body, and push back up. But what many don't realize is that lunges place an extreme amount of strain on the knee joint, especially for older adults whose cartilage is already wearing thin. The deep bending motion forces the knee into a vulnerable position, stretching the ligaments and grinding away at what little cushion remains. At first, the discomfort might feel minor, maybe a little tightness, a dull ache that lingers after your workout. But those small signals are warnings. Every time you lunge, you're forcing your knees to bear an unnatural load, putting pressure on the meniscus and straining the surrounding ligaments. The front knee absorbs most of the impact, while the back knee is bent at an angle that can cause unnecessary stress on already fragile joints. Over time, this repeated movement leads to chronic inflammation, swelling, and eventual cartilage breakdown. The protective tissue between your bones starts to erode, and once that happens, every step becomes a painful reminder of the damage that's been done. Then one day, something goes wrong. A slight misstep, a lunge that goes just a little too deep, and suddenly a sharp pain shoots through your knee. You feel something shift inside, something that doesn't feel right. This is how ligament tears, meniscus damage, and even patellar dislocations happen. And once the damage is done, there's no turning back. Recovery is long, difficult, and often incomplete. Physical therapy may help, but in many cases, the knee never fully recovers. What was once a simple movement, walking across the room, standing up from a chair, now feels impossible. The worst part? Many seniors don't even realize that their knee pain started with lunges. The damage happens gradually, making it easy to ignore at first. But by the time the pain becomes unbearable, the joint is already compromised. Some push through the discomfort, thinking they just need to strengthen their legs. Others stop exercising altogether, fearing any movement will make things worse. Either way, the result is the same, a loss of mobility, independence, and quality of life. But here's the thing. Lunges aren't the only everyday movement that could be slowly destroying your knees. In fact, there are habits and routines most seniors follow that unknowingly worsen joint pain and accelerate knee damage. Keep listening, because what you're about to hear next might be the key to saving your knees before it's too late. 6. Stair climbing with excessive load. The hidden threat to aging knees. Stair climbing has always been seen as a functional everyday movement, something we do without a second thought. But for seniors, climbing stairs while carrying heavy loads or repeatedly stressing the knees can be a silent threat, slowly wearing down the joints and accelerating knee deterioration. While walking up and down the stairs may seem harmless, the mechanics of this movement place tremendous strain on aging knees, especially when combined with extra weight in the hands, arms, or back. Every single step requires your knee to support more than double your body weight, forcing the joint to absorb repeated stress, often leading to inflammation, stiffness, and long-term damage. At first, you might feel a slight discomfort, a little soreness after carrying groceries up the stairs, or a brief tightness in your knees when descending. But these minor aches are signals. Over time, the pressure exerted on the knee joint during stair climbing starts to erode the cartilage, weakening the protective layer between the bones. The ligaments and tendons that hold the knee together begin to stretch beyond their capacity, creating small tears that, though noticeable at first, add up over the years. Eventually, the knees no longer have the resilience to recover, the pain becomes constant, and every step up or down starts to feel like a battle. Then one day something shifts. Maybe you misstep, maybe your knee gives out unexpectedly, or maybe it's just one stair too many. A sudden sharp pain shoots through your joint, and before you can catch yourself, you find yourself reaching for a railing, hoping your knee doesn't completely collapse beneath you. This is how meniscus tears, ligament strains, and patellar injuries occur. The very activity that once seemed so natural has now become a risk, an obstacle that can no longer be ignored. Even more concerning, descending the stairs is often more damaging than climbing them. The downward motion forces the knee joint to absorb an incredible amount of impact, far more than it was designed to handle in later years. With every downward step, the knee struggles to stabilize itself, increasing the risk of sudden joint failure. Many seniors begin avoiding stairs altogether, fearing the sharp, burning pain that comes with each descent. The problem isn't just physical, it's emotional too. Losing the ability to climb stairs freely can feel like losing control over your independence, a slow realization that everyday life is becoming harder than it should be. Some seniors believe that staying active will help keep their knees strong, pushing through the pain in hopes that it will eventually go away. But the truth is, the more they ignore these warning signs, the more they set themselves up for long-term damage that may lead to the very thing they fear most, a life of restricted movement, endless doctor visits, and the looming possibility of knee replacement surgery. At this point, you've heard the warning signs. The exercises you once trusted, the movements you thought were keeping you healthy, may actually be leading you toward irreversible knee damage. But what if you could change course before it's too late? What if there were safer, smarter ways to stay strong without sacrificing your mobility? The choices you make today will determine whether you keep moving freely or face the painful reality of knee deterioration. The question is, what will you do next? What to do instead? Protecting your knees without sacrificing strength. Avoiding high-risk exercises doesn't mean giving up on strength, mobility, or fitness. It means training smarter, not harder. The key to preserving your knee health while staying active is choosing movements that build strength without causing unnecessary wear and tear. Your knees have carried you through a lifetime of movement, and now they need your protection. Every decision you make about exercise today will determine whether you continue moving freely in the years ahead, or whether pain and joint deterioration rob you of that independence. The first step is understanding that low impact doesn't mean ineffective. In fact, the right low-impact exercises can be just as powerful as their high-impact counterparts. Movements that focus on controlled strength, stability, and joint support are the foundation of knee-friendly fitness. Exercises like swimming, cycling, and elliptical training keep the heart strong without pounding the joints. Strength training with lighter weights and higher repetitions builds muscle without overstressing the knees. Even something as simple as walking on soft surfaces instead of pavement can dramatically reduce long-term joint strain. Flexibility and balance must also be prioritized. Tight muscles pull on the knee joint, increasing stress and reducing mobility. Regular gentle stretching, yoga, and Tai Chi help keep the muscles surrounding the knee flexible and strong, reducing strain and preventing stiffness. Balance exercises like standing on one leg or using a stability ball improve joint stability, reducing the risk of falls and injuries that could lead to permanent knee damage. But perhaps the most overlooked aspect of protecting the knees is listening to your body. Pain is not a sign of a good workout. It's a warning. It means something isn't right. The idea that you should push through the pain is outdated and dangerous, especially as you age. Discomfort is one thing, but sharp pain, swelling, or lingering soreness after exercise is a red flag. Ignoring these signals leads to long-term damage that could have been prevented. The goal isn't just to stay active. It's to stay active in a way that preserves your mobility for the years ahead. There's no point in forcing exercises that destroy your joints if they take away your ability to move freely later in life. What truly matters is maintaining the strength to get out of a chair without struggling, to walk without pain, to climb stairs with ease, and to keep up with the moments in life that matter most. Your knees are your foundation. Treat them with care, and they will carry you forward. Make the right choices today so you don't have to face regret tomorrow. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.